Hey guys, Steve Ferguson here. Today I want to talk to you about how to get that perfect credit score, which is that 850 credit score. Today I'm going to give you a step-by-step process to take you from wherever you are today, if it's bad credit or not great credit or kind of good credit, whatever it happens to be. I'm going to show you how you guys to set up your credit personally to get an 850 credit score. So let's get started. So first of all, I'm a loan officer, so it's really important for me to understand how credit works and to make sure that you guys understand that same information, because my goal is to help you qualify not only for a home loan, but to save you money across the board when you're applying for car loans or credit cards or whatever it happens to be. So the first step in this process that I want to go through is, number one, you've got to get a copy of your credit report. So on your credit report, there's 3 credit bureaus that we're looking for, which is TransUnion, Experian, and Equifax. Those are the 3 main credit agencies that report your credit. They all 3 have different scoring models. So those scores will never be identical. Each one of them looks at credit a little differently, and those are all closely guarded secrets that you can't get access to, I can't get access to. But the difference is I've done this for a long, long time, and I'm going to give you some secrets here today to boost that score in a short amount of time and get you where you want to go. So how do you get a copy of your credit report that is actually real and you can count on, and it's not some of this fake stuff that you get in the mail? So what you do is you go to www.annualcreditreport.com is the current website the government has set up for it. So once again, www.annualcreditreport.com. Now the cool thing about this is when you go to this website, you can get a copy of your credit report for free one time a year. So I want to challenge all of you guys watching this video right now. That's the very first thing you want to do when you're done watching this, is go and get a copy of your credit report. So it's free to you. It's not a big deal. You can do it one time a year. And you may be surprised with some of the things that are on this credit report. And we're going to get into that very shortly. But step number one, annualcreditreport.com. It's a government website to get your personal credit report. Now, they're going to give you an option to pay for credit scores. And I think credit scores are certainly important, and you need to know that information. And if you want your real credit scores, you can pay for it on that website. I want to say it's $50 or so, but then you're going to know your real and true credit scores. And that's the same scores that we would generally use from a mortgage perspective, versus if you use some of these online credit scoring models, or maybe something that came in the mail with your credit card. Those credit scores are not using the same credit model that a mortgage company or a car dealership would use. Annualcreditreport.com does, and that credit score you pay for should be your legitimate credit scores. So that's the very first thing you want to do. Now, when you print out that credit report, I want you to go through and I want you to look at it line by line. So as you're looking at your credit report, a line that says your creditor's information, when you open the account, what the current status is, how much you owe, how much your payment is, that's called a trade line. All right. So you have several trade lines that are listed on your credit report, most likely, or if you don't have any credit, it won't show anything. But as you get into the depths of your credit report, you're going to see these individual lines that talk about your creditors. Now, what's important to know is sometimes bad things happen to credit that you have nothing to do with. Somebody could steal your identity, or there may be an error on your credit report. So once you print out that credit report, I want you to get a highlighter or a marker or a pen or something and really make sure that everything matches what you are aware of on your credit report. Do I have that credit card? Is that the right account number? You know, I don't remember opening this credit card up. I need to circle this and figure out what this thing is about, because it does happen on a regular basis where there are errors on your credit report that could be dragging down your credit scores. And if you don't monitor your credit, as an example, somebody could be opening credit in your name without you ever even knowing it, and you were expecting a great credit score, and now you don't have that perfect credit score. So it's really important to get a copy of your true credit every year and verify that the information on that credit report is correct. Now, if it's not correct, you need to go through and work through those processes and determine what's what, and you can dispute any items that are not correct. There's a couple different ways that you can dispute credit. One is a digital dispute, which is a pretty good way to dispute. It's easy. You can click the button. It'll say dispute this account. Or you can actually do it. There's a method where you can actually write in to the credit agencies disputing your accounts. Now, what's important is when you dispute an account, the creditor that has reported that on your credit bureaus has 30 days to prove that that account is yours. If they can't prove it, then it should fall off of your credit report, which is great news. Now, when you dispute an account and the creditor proves that the account is yours, the dispute wording remains on your credit. That can impact your ability to get a mortgage loan, as an example. So mortgage lenders have set requirements in place to remove all dispute wording because it automatically or inadvertently influences your credit score, and it changes your score model when accounts are disputed, and it makes your score look higher than it should be. So just so you know, any dispute wording on your credit report would have to be removed before you got a mortgage loan. Now, once you've gone through the process of determining what's accurate, what's not accurate, and you have that all laid out, now we go to the second phase of this, and that's figuring out what your biggest impacts are on your credit score. So if our goal is to boost your credit scores in the shortest amount of time possible, you've got to have the ammunition to back it up and hit the big things first. So the biggest thing that you're going to look at is your payment history. Did you miss any mortgage payments? Did you miss any credit card payments? Did you miss a car payment? You know, all of those things are going to report to your credit agency, but I want to clarify what a late payment truly is. If your payment is due on the 1st of February and you don't make it till the 15th of February, yes, it's behind schedule, but it's not a 30-day late payment. That kind of late payment will not impact your credit scores. It's when you go beyond a 30-day period of time from when your payment is due that negatively impacts your credit scores. So you never want to let those payments lapse that 30-day period of time. You want to hit it before that happens and get it taken care of so everything is paid on time. Now, if you maintain your payments, even if you have high balances, etc., you're going to have a reasonable credit score because it shows that you do pay your debts. You could be maxed out on a lot of credit cards, and those things are obviously going to negatively impact your scores, but overall, you're going to be kind of mid-range on your credit score. But I want to show you guys how to get to perfect credit. So I'm going to give you some techniques here in just a second to get that done. So number one, I want you to really analyze payment history and make sure that everything is paid on time. Now listen, most late payments on your payment history don't happen because you don't have the money. It's because people forget. We all have credit on our credit. It's like, man, I've got 10 credit cards and I've got this credit card over here I forgot to make the minimum payment on, and all of a sudden my score is really impacted, and that's not a good thing. So set up auto pay on your credit accounts. That way it's doing the job that it's supposed to do. Those payments are always paid on time, and you can monitor everything to make sure that it's getting done properly, but you don't have to worry about remembering it every single time it's due. Because I mean, there's all kinds of due dates, right? Life happens fast and those times go very quickly. So set up auto pay, and that way you're protected on your payments for everything that you're paying. Number two, the next biggest thing besides on-time payment history is your available credit. Now, let me explain what available credit is. Let's say you have a credit card, and that credit card's limit is $10,000. That's an easy number to start with. And if you've used $5,000 of that credit card balance, that means you have $5,000 available as credit that you could use at any time that you would like to. Now, let's say you have like 4 credit cards and you've got $10,000 balances on each. That's $40,000 of potential available credit, but you've used $30,000 of it. That means you're using a lot of credit every single month. Even though you may pay it down and you charge it back up, the credit bureaus look at how much available credit you have to you and whether or not you're managing that credit well. If you're not managing it well, which means you have high balances on your credit cards, you're pulling out brand new installment loans, and you're applying for all this extra credit, the credit bureaus have an algorithm that says you're a high-risk person and your scores should go down. We don't want that. So we have to manage our available credit in a way that makes it look like we have lots of credit available. We live, below our means, and we are managing our money well. So the lower your balance on your credit cards, the better it's going to be for your credit score. So goal number one is to get every balance on every credit card you have below 50% of your limit. So if your credit limit is $10,000, then you want to get it below $5,000. So start there. That's step one. That's going to kind of give you a neutral credit score adjuster. It's not going to be negative. It's not going to be positive. It's just going to be kind of in the middle. Goal 2 is to get it below 30% of your limit. Once you get below 30%, you start seeing score increases. Okay? So start with your lowest card as an example, get it below 30, go to the next one below 30, the next one below 30. Don't use them anymore. Set them aside and get all your credit in order. And the best score or highest score improvement you will get on revolving debt, which is credit cards, is below 10% of your limit. So if your limit's $10,000, get it below $1,000 and maintain it below that number. And you always have excellent credit in regards to revolving credit. It doesn't affect installment loans like credit cards do, so you don't have to worry about installment loans. However, when you open brand new installment loans, that can negatively impact your credit scores. Or if you close installment loans, that can negatively impact your credit scores. Now, I want to caution you guys, don't make a bad decision here. Let's say you've had a credit card for 10 years. You've had it forever. It's been maxed out. You pay it all the way down and you pay it off and you close that card. That is going to be terrible for your credit scores. Do not do that. The credit bureaus look at longevity of credit, and that is a big piece of the factor on credit scoring itself. So what you want to do is keep those long-term credit cards, etc., available. Use them occasionally to keep them active, but you want those long-term accounts on your credit. The only exception to that rule is if you had a lot of derogatory or late payments on those credit cards. Generally, it's okay to pay those things off and get them off of your credit because they always stay there on your credit report reflecting, and you may have to reestablish some credit to get past that, okay? Now, I'm going to give you a couple of free boosts here I want you to think about for ways to strategize to boost your scores without spending money. Now, granted, we all need to keep our credit card balances low because those minimum payments can be expensive and the interest is ridiculous. But let me show you a way to get around this. So number one, you can call all of your credit card companies and ask for a limit increase. That's it. It's very simple. You say, hey, look, you know what? My credit limit's $5,000. I'd like you to increase it to $6,000. And what you'll find is a lot of times, if you paid your bills on time, they'll gratefully increase your credit limit because now you have more free access to money, which in turn lowers your overall balance to your credit limit without you spending a dime of money. All right. So that's one of the free boosters to your credit report. The number two is getting set up as an authorized user on somebody else's account. Now, an authorized user means that somebody has added you to their account. Sometimes you can use their card and everything if it's a family member and they want to do that for you. But what it does is it gives you the benefit of their longevity on their credit, their good pay history, their low balance, etc. And it will very quickly boost your credit scores. Now, the reverse is also true. If you're an authorized user on somebody's credit and they miss a payment or they maxed it out or they're above 30% of their limit, unfortunately, your scores are going to suffer and you want to get pulled off of those authorized accounts as quickly as you possibly can. So only get added if you're in a situation where you know it's going to boost your credit scores. This is really, really important. Okay. So authorized user is the other free way to get this done. Now, as we're looking through this, you want to manage your credit the right way. It's important to understand that collections, charge-offs, etc., if they're on your credit report, if they're within the last 6 months, they have your greatest impact on your credit score. If they're greater than 6 months old, they've already done the damage. And so really what you'd want to do, it'd be better for you to negotiate a payment and say, you know what, I know that I owe $1,500, but I'm willing to settle for $750. Will you guys accept that? If they will, you always get it in writing first. You do not give them access to your account. You do not give them a check. You do not do anything unless they put it in writing and you have it in your hand. Once you have a settlement agreement, you generally have 30 days to pay that settlement agreement. You must pay them in full. Once it's paid, then the time stops on that account and it will fall off of your credit within a 7-year period of time. However, you can always ask for a pay for delete. This is one of those tricks that you need to understand. So you've got a medical collection that's sitting on your credit report, and actually with some of the new rules behind medical collections, you may not have them on your credit anymore. But if you did, or you had another collection, you can say, hey, look, I'm willing to pay my debt. I want to get this taken care of for you guys, but if I pay this, I want it permanently removed from my credit report as soon as it's paid. Get it in writing. They should be able to put it in writing. And then when you pay it, it'll be removed and it'll be as if it never happened. So guys, that is a very valuable way to boost your credit scores in a very short amount of time and get exactly where you want to go and having a better understanding of what you can do for your credit. Now, you can always monitor your credit, and I highly recommend you get a credit monitoring service just to protect your credit and make sure you know if anybody else is looking at your credit or applying for credit in your name that you don't know about, because the last thing you want to do is do all this hard work and your credit scores get dragged down. But that is the model to get you to an 850 credit score. Below 10% revolving usage, pay all of your debts on time, no charge-offs, no collections, and longevity of accounts. Those are the key factors to get perfect credit. Now, remember, applying for new installment loans or paying off installment loans, applying for new credit or paying off credit cards and closing them will all impact your credit scores. So don't think that they're going to boost your scores. They generally won't. And the reason that is the credit bureaus know that when you pay something off, you're likely to go apply for something else. So they negatively impact your scores first, and then over time, they'll gradually come back up. So manage your debt well with what you have, and you should be in good shape. Now, any questions or concerns, please drop a note. I want to make sure that we address those for you guys and set you up for success. My goal is to get you where you want to go. Number one is a home loan because I'm a lender. Number two is to get everything less expensive in life for you because when you have good credit, everything you go apply for is way easier to get and you get a lot better terms. So, by the way, I've got a lot of other videos that are listed down there, and I've got several different video series that talk more about credit. Those links are in the description below. Don't forget to like or subscribe. I hope this is valuable content and great information for you, and I look forward to seeing your scores increase really soon. Have a great day, guys. Bye-bye.